I stand here today. Other than President Donald J. Trump, the greatest president in my lifetime with the most safest and secure border, I believe President Clinton understood just how important border security is to our nation. But boy, oh boy, have times changed. 28 years later, the left has gone off the rails. They've gone completely nuts. They've done just the opposite of what the leader of the Democrat Party, President Clinton, stood for on border security in 1995.
They are accusing Democrats of saying we spend too much. For anyone that wants to entertain that thought, I ask you to think about the last time a person has said in this country that the government does too much for them, that their Social Security check was too high, that teachers are paid too much. When was the last time anyone has heard or seen that?
Did you catch that? A Democrat asking when anyone ever complained about government doing too much. In a country where half the population yells that at their TV every morning. And then, boom, the Republicans pull out a Bill Clinton tape that nukes the entire narrative from orbit. This is hypocrisy caught on HD replay. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and buckle up. Let's watch the full clip before I give you my full explanation.
Members of this committee, please turn your attention to the video screens.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
You believe in open borders and complete chaos. Did you notice the bipartisan support in the chamber? As the video was played, everybody was clapping in that chamber. If I were in Congress in 1995, I would have also stood. Because I wasn't, I stand here today. Other than President Donald J. Trump, the greatest president in my lifetime with the most safest and secure border, I believe President Clinton understood just how important border security is to our nation. But boy, oh boy, have times changed. 28 years later, the left has gone off the rails. They've gone completely nuts. They've done just the opposite of what the leader of the Democrat Party, President Clinton, stood for on border security in 1995. This committee's ranking member, he was in Congress in 1995. I assume he stood. It seemed like the majority, if not all of the entire chamber, they stood. Matter of fact, Mr. Clinton delivered his speech in the third year of his first term. And he was reelected in 1996. He beat Bob Dole, won by over 8 million votes, won the Electoral College 379 to 159. He had the support of the American people, and I'm going to assume the ranking member also voted for Bill Clinton in 1996. We have two other members, Ms. Jackson and Ms. Lofgren. They were both freshmen at the time. I will assume they stood during that powerful speech as well. And do you know why they supported and voted? They voted for legislation in 1996 strengthening our immigration laws. I applaud them for that. So what's changed, folks? What's changed with the Democrat Party? I'll tell you what's changed. If you wouldn't have heard President Clinton's voice or seen his face, you would have thought Donald Trump delivered that speech. I don't believe that President Clinton was called a racist, a white supremacist who hated immigrants, as the left and the dishonest media has painted Donald J. Trump to be. I have a report from the Heritage Foundation titled Tracking Movement of Illegal Aliens from NGOs to Interior of the USA. Why do you think NGOs have moved illegal immigrants to 431 of the 435 congressional districts? The truth is, hear me, it's because the Democrats' progressive policies are not acceptable to Americans. Heritage obtained a sampling of approximately 30,000 cell phones that were tracked to NGOs along border states. They tracked approximately 22,000 devices at 20 NGO locations in January 2022. The same devices were later traced to 431 separate U.S. congressional districts, and of the 52 with the highest rate of tracked devices, 71 of them were Republican congressional districts. The report revealed that it's not a coincidence, folks. The flood of illegal immigrants means a continual rise in surplus laborers. That surplus drives down the wages of existing middle-class and lower-class job holders until they leave the job forces, and then they're forced to go on welfare with the hopes that they will become loyal supporters of the Democrats. That's what this is all about.
That right there was a political execution, clean and surgical. The Republican didn't raise his voice, didn't posture, didn't rant. He just rolled the tape and let Bill Clinton absolutely destroy today's Democrat Party with their own words. And not some random quote. This was a State of the Union, standing ovation, bipartisan moment where Democrats applauded border security, deportations, cracking down on illegal hiring, and barring welfare for illegal immigrants. That's not conservative propaganda. That's their guy. And here's the part that makes this hilarious. Everything Clinton said in 1995 is exactly what Republicans say today. And for that, they get called racists, extremists, xenophobes, and Nazis. Same policies, same language, same concerns. The only difference? Back then Democrats agreed with it, and now they pretend they never did. That standing ovation is the smoking gun. Democrats were literally on their feet cheering for border enforcement, cheering for deportations, cheering for protecting taxpayers. Today, they act like that speech was written by Donald Trump himself and passed down from Mount MAGA. And the AOC clip at the beginning? Absolute comedy gold. When has anyone ever said the government does too much? Lady, that sentence is the national anthem of half the country. People complain about taxes, spending, waste, and bloated government every single day. That question alone tells you how detached this crowd has become. But the real knockout punch was the ending. When the Republican asked, "What changed?" and answered it himself. The border didn't change. The law didn't change. The problem didn't change. The politics changed. The party changed. And then he dropped the hammer with that Heritage report, showing how illegal immigration is being scattered across congressional districts, driving down wages, flooding job markets, and conveniently creating a new dependent voting bloc. That's not compassion. That's strategy. This wasn't about morality. This wasn't about humanity. This was about power. And the Republican exposed it with receipts, timestamps, and the voice of a Democrat president. That's how you debate. You don't argue opinions. You play their own tape and let history do the damage.